Hey, thank you for tuning in to Glenn Lawrence and Coco. This is Our Life. Today, we got an interesting topic. We're going to talk about kids and dating. Yes, kids and dating. Your daughters, your sons, your non-binary mutants. We're going to talk about dating and raising.
Who the fuck are you?
Hi, Mr. Burnett. I'm Reggie.
What you doing here?
Came to take out Megan.
What?
I came to take out Megan.
How old are you?
I'm 15, Mr. Burnett.
Motherfucker, you look 30. Show me some ID.
I don't have none on me.
You don't have no idea. Get your ass up against that wall. What the fuck is your problem? You think you know it all. You little young Thundercats. You got joints on you?
No.
You smoke that shit?
Okay, now if I find out that my son is pulling this thing out of school, when his mother's around, I'm gonna have an attitude. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to say. Really? Really, dude? That's what you do in school? So you don't need pants because your dick is out. That's what you're telling me. As soon as his mom leave, hey, come here. What'd she say when she saw it? Give me some. Give me some. Yes! Hell yeah! Sometimes you gotta put it on the table, son. Let them see it. We small, but we big at the same time. Let them know.
I think you'd be so surprised one day. You're like, baby, wow, I had no idea. I'm like, I know. I never let you see that side of me.
I'm like, girl, I see all sides of you.
Yeah, naked.
And the inside. Girl, I fucked your soul. Anyways, what's the questions for the day?
Okay. So the first question is would you allow your son to go on a date at 16 but not your daughter?
No. Actually, I wouldn't let my son go on a date at all. Neither I would let my
Oh,
daughter.
so neither of them. Okay.
Mm-mm.
What age do you think that you would allow them to date?
When they move out of my house?
Oh, that's okay.
Yep.
Is it because of the schooling and education and like no distractions?
Part of it. Like that does play a role.
Okay,
But
so condense what is the reason of why you would say not to take it out?
well, one, dating leads to fucking,
It can, definitely.
and I don't want to be an early grandparent for one.
Same.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll answer the rest of the questions. Like I could develop more after we go through all the questions.
Okay.
So.
Second question is, why does it seem like fathers are more strict and protective of daughters than they are of their sons? Like, example is, so like they'll tell their son like about sex and like, you know, just wrap it up, just make sure you're careful. But when it comes to their daughters, like, you ain't fucking ever. Like, you're never, no. Like, there's just nothing. There's no dating. Like, the same with dating. Like, their sons can come over, you know, have a girlfriend over, but the girls can't. And they can't have the door closed. They can't sit on the couch next to each other, but boys can.
I think you're talking about the era that we grew up in, and our parents, and so forth. Nowadays, if it was me, I mean, I am a father, so like, I wouldn't let no bitch over my my house. I'm sorry.
You didn't have to call her a bitch.
Well,
She's a kid, so.
Okay, I'll edit that. Hold on. I am a father to a son, and if he tried to invite his girlfriend over, I wouldn't let him have her over.
Okay.
I don't want that responsibility, for one.
Okay.
And the part of it is now is that when we grew up, it was socially acceptable, and there was the essence of protecting the daughter's innocence was more valued than the son's. Right? Everybody thinks of guys running around, little teenagers with their pink things out, trying to just bust a nut. And that's the stigma that was in our era, you know, and that's something that we've led to believe in, you know, it was.
And that it's natural for boys, but
Yeah.
if a girl did it, she's a hoe.
Well, no, I didn't say that.
No, I'm not saying in that era that's what it was too, but.
But like, you know, nowadays girls will be fucking more than guys are.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to get at is like, it's not safe for either anymore.
No.
It was more concern of like, you know, the daughters, and that's why. There was a lot of, sexual assaults, things that were going unsaid, unspoken, that would happen to young women, and they would never speak on it, and then shit comes out 10 years later, and and ruin these women's lives. So yeah, dads were more concerned in protecting their daughters because they remember how they were. They were running game. They were sweet talking girls.
Yeah.
They sweet talked their child's mother. Like, hey, baby, come here. You want to go sit back in my car? Let's go to the drive-in. Watch that new movie. And then I'll bang.
I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, in our era where we grew up, but still, my parents were very old-fashioned. Like, none of us were really allowed to date, and we weren't even allowed to have anybody over that was of the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. And I told you, I was grown. I was an adult. I was like 19 and 20, and my parents still wouldn't let my boyfriend over.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, the fuck? And I was moved out.
For me, it's like if you live in my house, no.
Okay.
Not while you're in high school. If you turn 18 and you're an adult, you can do what the fuck you want. I just don't want to hear it.
As long as they're not in your house, right?
No, I said you can do what the fuck you want. I just don't want to hear it. You can do it in my house as long as you're quiet and I don't hear it.
I wouldn't even want that.
I don't want to know. Just sneak them in. Wait till I go in the bathroom, then go run to your bedrooms.
Okay. Last question is, if you did allow your kids to date, are there different rules for your girls, like your daughter instead of your son?
No, actually, I would be more concerned for my son than my daughter. Right now, in the era that we live in now, yes, I'm more
This is a
concerned.
Me Too thing.
Yes, I think there's no accountability when it comes to accusations. There is just recently I just read something about this football player he grew up out here in Southern California. He got accepted to USC, and some girl him and this girl were hooking up at school in like one of the abandoned buildings or the buildings that were not utilized during this period or whatever.
Okay.
And they bang it out, and he gets out, like he dips out of there before the hall monitor or whatever checks that area, and they caught the girl.
Okay.
They asked the girl, what are you doing over here? The mom's pissed off, like, what are you doing? You fucking up. You're supposed to be in school, not be dicking around. The girl says this guy raped her. It was consensual sex. He ends up going to prison. He ended up losing his scholarship. He ended up losing years of his life that he would never get back. The school district paid the girl's family and the girl like a couple mil. The guy gets out of prison, trying to start his life over, and somehow the girl ends up admitting that it was a lie. But it took so many years of him trying to fight for the truth.
Okay.
I would hate to see my son in that situation based off of that. If my son did something foul and he committed a crime, yeah, lock his ass up. But when you have congresswomen and senators saying that we need to believe all women, victims or women accusers,
No.
when that's the narrative, like we need to believe all women, men need to do the right thing and shut up. That's exactly what she said. That's not an era I want to have my son dating.
Yeah.
I'll be very wary of that.
Okay.
But I also think women need to be concerned. Mothers need to be concerned. These are their sons. Like, be concerned for your sons. Like, and just as the dads are concerned about their daughters, and protective and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, as you mentioned, you said dads are not as concerned for their sons as their daughter, and I think that needs a change.
I agree.
Especially with Me Too, and especially with Title IX that's going on in the colleges now, that Obama passed before he left office. All those things are very, very could be very dangerous for young men. Like, if you didn't let me know you like me, I would never in my life. Because I would never want to be Me Too. I would have been like strictly professional and just like, hi, how you doing?
You were making hints to
I
get me to answer because you said that you liked me.
But you were also sending signals that were verifiable that let me know that.
But you
like,
started the initiation of that, though.
I threw a feelers out there. You caught them and you threw them right back. I'm like, okay, this is.
But I'm saying you did do it.
But like I'm talking about like aggressively make the move, like you know, I'm saying like
Like how guys just normally come up and like try to hit on you.
yeah, like
Okay.
that's no, because I just nowadays just be like, that was sexual harassment. Like over.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on it?
For me, I'm not sure if I would allow my son or my daughter to date at 16. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I mean, if it would be older, it definitely wouldn't be any younger.
I'll tell you right now the answer. What you would say. What'd your father say? Your father said a no.
Okay. These are my answers.
Oh, I'm just telling you your answers.
I don't know. I mean, I think that, like, I think that I might, depending on my kids. Like how if I knew that I could trust them to an extent, they were open and honest with me. There was lots of strict rules and regulations. Like they were never allowed to go over to their house. They could come to our house and have dinner, but that's the extent of it. Like, so they're sitting at the table with us. We're all together. Once dinner's over, the little boy can go home. Or his girlfriend, our son's girlfriend, could go home.
When you mean go home, you mean meet Jesus?
No.
Okay.
But I think that I might, because again, like if they're failing in school, they're doing a bunch of shady shit, if they're just not, if they're acting out all the time, and like, no. But I mean, I would have them on a really tight leash with lots of strict rules and regulations for it.
Can I tell you something? Our daughter is gonna date Jesus. That's it. She gonna be a nun.
You know what happens sometimes when you do that to somebody is that
she is going to a nunnery.
When they move out and then they fuck the first person that they've been able to, that normally two things are highly likely to happen. They get pregnant, then they get married, or they think like this is the person for them because they haven't had any experience except for when they were an adult.
And you know what I tell them? You made your bed, lay in it. I told your ass not to be fucking no boys. This is exactly why I told you not to be fucking no boys. Oh, so you pregnant. Do you want me to take care of that baby? Huh? Oh, because your baby daddy ran out on you? So I gotta be grandpa and daddy? Fuck that. I raised my kids. I'm done. Me and your mama have a whole sex room now. And that was your bedroom.
Yeah, that part can't be disturbed.
There's a swing, there's a couch, there's clamps, there's bondage shit all over the place.
You don't want to go in there.
And your little ass and your little baby can move the fuck out. I'll see you at Christmas and holidays. Don't bring that motherfucker to my house, though. He ain't being no daddy. I'll kill him.
Okay. But I don't think that I would really have any different rules. I wouldn't treat them any different.
No, I wouldn't either.
I would have just as much caution and give them... I would never want to treat one child different than the other and give them different rules and regulations. They're both equal. And there's just this equal amount of issues and bad situations that could happen. So I would never be like, oh, well, because he's a boy, or well, because she's a girl. Like, no, there is no double standard. There's one straight rule, strict guideline, and that's it if you guys were to date.
Well, I think there was a double standard because there was a different set of risk. Okay, so like girls that got knocked up in high school, and especially when we were growing up, like nothing happened to the guy. The guy's parents probably yelled at him, like,
no responsibility.
No, the guy's parents probably yelled at him, and then told him like, hey, you're gonna have to get a part-time job, and you're gonna have to go to school and pay for this kid. I had a friend that had to do that. His dad was like, dude, I'm not gonna be mad at you for having sex. I mean, I knew you were going to.
Yeah.
But these are the consequences. So now, guess what? No more football. No more dances. Okay? You need a job. Because that baby's going to require a father. And that's what my job is to do, is to make you be a man, teach you how to be a father. And unfortunately, I have to start a lot sooner than I expected. but that's what's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
You know, like that was the extent of for most guys.
Mm-hmm.
The girls had a tough choice. They had to wear the shame of being pregnant in high school, unless you grew up in the early 2000s when 16 and pregnant was like cool.
A thing for some
Yeah,
reason.
you know, but it was a stigma. Like, oh, why did so and so leave school? Because she's pregnant.
I had that happen several
They had to
times.
go to the continuation school.
Yeah, there was a few girls that I knew, like, all of a sudden just vanished. And we're like, where did she go? And then, you know, heard around because it's a small town. They're like, oh, yeah, she got pregnant and she didn't come back to school.
Yeah.
So she got homeschooled. And I'm like, that's so sad.
Or the other option was they went and got an abortion.
Hmm.
You know, and I know girls that before they graduated had like 3 or 4 abortions. You know, and it's just like, wow, you didn't learn the first
time around, seriously.
first 3 times.
Yeah, it's kind of a shitty thing.
So it's like there was more consequence and more what's the word I'm looking for?
Ramifications?
There was more like ramifications upon the female,
Mm-hmm.
or in our era than it is the
She had
male.
to change her life a lot more than
Yeah.
the male did, for
Yeah.
sure. Like, the boy could go back to school, the boy could do whatever,
Yeah.
but, like, the girl couldn't. Like,
No, the
normal
girl-
time, like, there was a lot of shame and you had to, like, hide yourself and start
Yeah.
a whole new life. I've known people where their family literally was so embarrassed, and she was so embarrassed and so scared to go back to school, they actually left and went to a whole another fucking state.
I know the same story, very similar
Really?
story. Yeah. Oh man, it was the pastor's daughter.
Oh.
And come to find out, pastor's daughter gets knocked up
Yeah.
at 17.
That is awful.
I also know a pastor's son was fucking this babysitter that I knew. That she would watch my brother and sister when they were little.
Oh,
And
my.
the pastor, actually,
Babysitters.
funny thing is, pastor's son ended up being my instructor when I was in the military. But anywho, like, dude, pastor finds out his son's messing with this girl. He like, no, you're going straight in the Air Force. Get out of here. Like, he was gone like 2 weeks later.
Dang.
But like, she didn't get pregnant, but like, it was just like the rumor of his son was
Yeah.
around, you know, smashing chicks. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, can't have that. You're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the best way to do it is right now for parents is just like, look at your kids dating as not an option. Like, look, they're in your care until they're 18.
Yeah, but so many parents nowadays are doing that free range parenting shit, which isn't parenting.
You mean they will let YouTube raise their kids? Is that
Not
what you mean,
just-
free range?
No, free range parenting is more like they kind of let the kids raise themselves like little Matildas. You know, as long as you check in, as long as you have good grades, you go to school, you don't get in trouble, like you can do whatever you want. You can
As
stay
long
out
as
as late
you
as you
don't
want.
make any noise and leave me alone.
Yes, basically, that's free range parenting. They don't really discipline. There's no at home responsibilities.
Yeah.
Just be a kid. Just don't bother me. I'm busy.
Leave me alone. Me and your
Yeah.
dad are going out.
I'm playing Candy Crush.
That was the thing.
That wasn't
No,
it.
you're right. And a lot of these kids are just learning from either other kids or what's on the electronic device that they're staring at.
And the restrictions are not what they used to be. Like, how seriously? Like, if I was a kid, I'd like to. That little stupid button that says, "Are you 18 or older?" Boop. How are you gonna verify that? All they have to do is push a damn button.
Actually, some of them ask for a birthday.
Yes, but if you're
And then you're like-
calculating, you gotta
you're
think
like,
real
"Oh,
hard.
shit,
If
damn
you're
it."
that committed. But nowadays, it's normally just a button.
Just put your dad's birthday in.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's not a whole lot of restrictions. Even the stuff on television is not what
No,
it used
yeah.
to be. Like, as I'm older now, I can see more subliminal messaging that I get now as I'm an adult and I understand it. I'm like, oh my god, they put that in there. But when I'm little, it was so subtle the way that they worded it. You didn't know unless you were an adult.
Exactly.
And they did that to make it entertaining for the adults
To
too.
watch, yep.
But now they just put almost basically whatever they want on
Little
television.
Mermaid with dicks in there.
They just put whatever they want, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's just no. Children are way too exposed.
Well,
do
the
all
other
kinds of
thing,
stuff.
the other thing now is parents don't want to parent. They want to be the
They
kid's
don't.
friend.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, tell me how you feel.
You can't be both.
And you're like, okay, I like the way you're expressing your words. Thank you. I take what you're saying. And you know what? Because you were so honest and open with me and letting me in, don't worry about it. You don't have to do your chores. You don't have to be
That's some
responsible.
bullshit. That's leaving them with no accountability.
You know what I'll be doing? Like, but Dad, I want to. No. I really don't give a fuck about how you feel. I don't care how you feel right now. I want you to tell me how you feel after you're done doing what I told you to do.
Yeah.
You can think about how you feel while you're doing your chores. And then after you're done doing your chores correctly, then you come back and say, Dad, I feel this way about, okay, and I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'll take that into consideration next time. And I'll just add 2 more chores to that list. Wasting my goddamn time. But just so you know, our daughter, nunnery. Okay? She's marrying Jesus.
No, you can't force her who she can marry and tell her that she has to become a nun. That's her decision and free will as a human being.
Okay.
You can have control over if she's dating or not, but when she is of age, she can do whatever the hell she wants.
So when all the boys start ending up missing, and we need
It's
to buy
not
some,
your
and
responsibility.
then we have to buy some more property to hide the bodies.
That is not your responsibility. She's
What?
grown. If she wants to go and have sex and date people, you can't kill them or whatever because that's her choice as a human being.
Well, that thought could think about that in confession when she's praying to Jesus. No, you know what? I'm not even worried
I
about
feel
our
so
daughter.
sad for our daughter.
I'm not even worried about her. Like, I'm really not. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be worried if we had a daughter.
I'm not pregnant, by the way.
No. As I said, if we had a daughter, I said that's why I had to rephrase it because you said I feel sorry about our daughter. I'm like, well, wait a minute, where's she at? Because I haven't seen her yet.
We know where she's at.
I would say this: like, I don't think we would have a problem with our daughter. The reason is that we would install values in her. I think we would install the values in her and show her through my actions, hopefully most, what she needs to look for in a partner.
Well, yeah, but also through my experience, through
Well,
things that have happened. And
but what I'm saying, like the closest thing that she's gonna be able to like say, okay, what was a good man like? What's
yeah,
a
but you
man?
have to show her that
That's
through how
what
you
the
treat
te-
me.
Woman, if you don't start interrupting me, I'll show you how I'll beat you. She gets that shit, turns her on. Don't ask me why. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, I think our daughter's gonna see like how we interact, and how like she'll see me like, oh, that's that I would be the standard,
Yeah.
right? And then anybody that could get to that standard, if she holds them to it, I'm good with. And the only man I can think of is Jesus. Not Jesus. Jesus.
Okay.
And our son, let me just tell you something, boy. Stick your dick in the wrong thing, it'll fall off.
Turn green.
There's some dirty ass women out there. And if you want your outie to become a little nub or an innie, go on. Just be reckless with it. Stick it in whatever.
Don't ask me to pay the medical bill. No. Not doing that.
Mm-hmm. But my son's gay, so I don't have nothing to worry about. I have to worry about other boys.
Yeah.
Hey, go sword fight somewhere else. Get out of here with that shit. You can bring him over for dinner. It's fine. Just not in front of me, please.
Leave the door open.
Please. Y'all can do that on your
No
own
closed
time.
doors.
No, for none of the kids.
No closed doors.
Oh, me and Tim are just gonna go study.
You can study in the kitchen.
You damn right. But it's really loud in here. I'll be quiet. I'm sitting there just like this. So, what's up, Tim?
That's not you being quiet. There we go.
But that's
That's our episode for today.
yeah. Raising kids right. That's all I gotta say.
Stop raising fools.
And get rid of safe spaces. No such thing.
There's no such thing.
Fuck a safe space.